Hello everyone, my name is Utsav and in this session we are going to talk about gamification. So let's get started. So what is gamification? Gamification is a way to apply certain game mechanics in order to not just motivate the users, your end users, but also it should make sense for the business, right? It should help you achieve certain business objectives. So first of all, let's just think about the gaming industry, right? Gaming industry. So let's just estimate at a very high level the size of the gaming industry, right? You can pause this video at this stage and take a guess. Okay. Now moving on to the this is a very uh, very high level estimate of how big is the gaming industry, right? Just to give you a perspective around you know uh, how is this why is this important, right? As we can see that this is a huge industry, and if you compare this with the movies or or certain other this thing, the global market would of gaming would be much higher than some of the other popular segments, right? So it kind of gives us a sense around how big is the motivation of people, right? They like games, they people want to play games, and hence why not we use it in our business use cases, right? So let's get started. So how do we break down a game, right? So one of the things that we want to understand, the first thing is the core mechanic. Every game has a core mechanic, right? One core action that you take, which will define the overall the game basically that you play, right? So let's say, for example, for Mario, it could be running. And if you play Mario, you keep on running, and in some cases, in some other games it could be collecting coins, or such kind of or a particular playing a particular moving a car in a certain direction and moving ahead with the car could be one of the core mechanics, right? So as I mentioned, every game has a core mechanic, and then there is something called a game loop. So what is a game loop? A game loop is a bunch of play and earn. You play, you run in Mario, and then you earn certain coins and stuff like that. Then you have a ability to track the progress, and then you kind of repeat the same process with a higher level, right? So this is more or less the game loop, which is kind of built on top of the core mechanic. But one of the other common elements of the good games have been kind of observed as a narrative. So in case of a Mario, it could be fighting with a particular demon, or in some of the games it could be like saving a particular person. So such kind of a bigger narrative, right, is what a certain good game. It is also called meta narratives. Uh, so let's get forward as to some of the motivators of playing a game, right? So what could be the motivators, right, of playing a game? So one of the motivator could be achievement, right? So in some cases, certain type of upgradations, rewards, collections, or badges, right, is comes under the achievement part. uh, the uh, the other thing could be, yeah, the so this is achievement, right? The second thing could be social. um, So things like competition, cooperation would be coming under the part of the social. So achievement is also can be said as gratify, and social could be said as validate. And then you have something like a narration, so some kind of action or some kind of surprise could be like automatic, like all of a sudden there's a demon that appears, right? Those are the kind of a narration. And the fourth parameter or motivator is the mastery, right? Some kind of challenge, some kind of strategy where you apply certain strategy. Let's say, you can if you consider the playing or creating a particular team in the Dream 11, right? So that could be a element of gamification applied over there, which is the mastery. Other examples could be PUBG. So PUBG, you have the social cooperative mechanic that is in place. Uh, so I'll just write it down here, PUBG. Then there are companies that apply the gamification, right? So Myntra has its gamification loop, which is certain action, certain motivation, uh, then it is the action, it is the reward. So how Myntra did launch the gamification in its platform is that if you are a sports kind of a sports enthusiast, right? That means you buy, let's say for example, Nike shoes, right? Or any kind of sports equipment, then you are categorized as a sport enthusiast. And then what Myntra asks you is to sync the Google Play, Google Fit, right? And then it counts uh, certain steps, mm, uh, counts steps, right? So again, I have just giving you a hypothetical scenario, right? The actual Myntra implementation would be a little bit different, but I'm just pointing out the elements, right? So let's say the Myntra is asking you to count steps and asking you to sync those steps with your application. And if you are, let's say, greater than 1,000 steps, right, on a particular day, then you get the rewards and the coins, right? So this is a way which Myntra has very smartly made, also enabled its user to have the make the platform more fun, because they have certain, they can look up to certain activities, syncing their steps and stuff like that, and they can also look at certain rewards. So there's clearly an incentive that is associated with it. Now, like definitely we can see that there's a fun element to it. There's a challenge or motivation element to it from an end user perspective, right? But what it is for the business, how will Myntra make money out of it, right? So number of app opens, right? So if I kind of design this entire gamification in such a way that you have to open the app in order to app open, I can say open leads to claim the rewards every day, right? So this is a way how the business can motivate its users to open more number of times, and then a correlation with the number of orders, incremental orders can also be tracked, right? And also, like this has number of higher app opens leads to it might lead to lesser uninstalls. It could also lead to Myntra being the top of the mind brand for. So those are the second order effects of so this is how we've clearly articulated what's in it for the end user and what's in it for the business. um, why should they care about it, and we've also defined the particular user segment, right? So this is how you build the business case for a gamification in its platform, right? So a few other things that I would like to cover is one of the things that you need to think about in the gamification is the reward system. So within the reward system, you have to think about a certain kind of let's say what will be the reward, right? How much will the users earn? And then you have to also think about the sync, how these points earned, right, goes into a particular redemption, or how this can be used. um, one of the other examples that you can go through is the case of Google Pay, right? Google Pay ka Diwali campaign, right? Diwali 2020 campaign, in which they have used the gamification to really motivate its users and kind of also reap the business rewards out of it. The other thing is, you can also consider introducing a collections, right? Sorry, the second thing is collections. uh, so this is another way. There could be individual collections, there could be sets, and there could also be a certain goal, right? So individual set, collection set, and then there could be a goal. So you collect something to achieve a particular goal. Another kind of another thing that I would like to cover in terms of the gamification part is, the whys, right? The whys is always important, as they say, start with the why, right? So these are the benefits, right? Installs, number of installs, the total engagement, the total retention, right? Retain your users, and then um, so staying in your platform or engaging with your platform becomes fun. So this entire fun element is also added to the overall activity when you go for the gamification, right? So these are the whys behind the gamification. uh, Again, that's all I wanted to cover. Please feel free to add any questions in the comment section. Thank you.